nothing left. And now it seems like we're just going to go straight up into the second game where Sequence is looking really, really hot. And BDG got to pick things back out if they even want to look at a game 3 here.
Yeah, BDG banning away the Lee Sin as Team Sequence, banning away the Akali, which they used to great success, early on just now. And Alista will be taken away once again. Sequence will kickstart the draft with a Wukong locked in. Highly likely that will be around 90%. It is going to be a jungle Wukong. And one of a strong Wukong. And it can get kind of scary if you decide to go for the Yasuo, right? Because I've seen other tournaments where they try to do the Wukong dream. Sorry, not the Wukong dream, the Yasuo dream, right? The 5-man knockout, the 5-man out. And it's just so tempting, you know, if you play the Yasuo. And I believe early on just now, we were actually watching the interview. What is the next champion that is going to be popping out by Wild Rift? Personally, I'm looking at the Yone. I'm looking at Yone, yeah. The brother of Yasuo. But with that said, I digress. I'm so sorry. I got distracted all the time. But here we go. BDG picking up a Shyvana instead for the jungle. It's actually not bad as a jungler.
It's interesting. I believe Shyvana, a few patches back, was very, very viable in the jungle. Her clear speed is incredibly insane, especially with the burnout kind of helping you clear out the waves here. And of course, her being a Shyvana, her passive, I think her passive allows you for extra damage on the dragon, allowing for faster takes. But in the more recent patches, she has been kind of nerfed in terms of that damage output and has kind of suffered with her impact as a jungler. Because Shyvana doesn't really work as a ganker for me when I see her. It's always about being able to take objectives fast, clear camps fast, and be able to counter jungle so fast that your opponent jungler cannot really match up that speed. And then you go for the team fights, you build AP, and you just deal so much damage with your Flame Breath. In any case, though, it's going to be a risk for BDG, but I'm curious how this risk will go. And in the newest patch, I believe Leona and Diana were released. We're going to be seeing Leona, who is honestly one of the more viable supports right now. She's a tank, be brought in by BDG, which is, I think, a really good, pickup for them.
Yeah, and, even though Leona was actually kind of released quite a while ago, but you're still looking at like the Alista being favored. I actually was expecting the fact that Leona will be able to take over the meta, but I feel like it's a little bit too slow. But upcoming champions are going to release. In fact, Wild Rift just actually kind of gave us a sneak peek of what kind of champions that have planned. I'm looking forward to the Galio. It's going to turn that mid lane around, and it can be used as a support as well. So that's something that we can look out for in the future. However, looking back at this game right now, BDG, they're going to be picking up a Kai'Sa as an ADC. That's going to go very well with the Leona, with the Void Stacks, with its stun. However, Sequence going for a Enchanter support. That's wait, hold on, sorry. Braum as a support, Seraphine as the mid laner.
It's going to be a lot of protect for Corki here. There's a lot of things that Sequence needs to prove. There's also a lot of things that Impunity need to prove here. Because if Sequence win this series already, if BDG cannot force this into a game 3, it's going to be deja vu and a possible deja vu again tomorrow. Where Sequence has to go for Impunity. If the Impunity we win that, they have to go up against Alliance again. But again, there is going to be possibly different outcomes here. In any case, we're going into game number 2. Sequence and BDG. BDG are on the precipice, are on the cusp of losing and getting eliminated from our preseason tournament. But can they keep themselves afloat as Sequence have brought out the big gun?
Yeah, and there's okay, hold on a second. A bit of an invade coming in as Team Sequence marches on into side of BDG, burning away the flash. They're just gonna take it and move on. So which means that Jim will be able to kind of flank the bottom side, and the dragon side will be able to play a little bit more aggressive. But okay. You remember we were talking about, Darius being unable to chase down the enemies. But with the help of Fleet Footwork, he should be able to stick even closer because we can get additional movement speed with the Fleet Footwork as well. But, being the fact that JW is just staying out of sight, it's just gonna confuse BDG a little bit more as well. So that's something I like. A bit of a mind games right here happening from the side of Team Sequence.
Oh, they're gonna be set up to get stunned. Maybe Fizzlyfish able to space herself away before getting hit by the concussive blow, or rather the frostbite. And you do have to be very wary of that. When is the time that the Leona can go in? It's kind of difficult because who's gonna follow her up if there's no jungler? Speaking of junglers, Jim is already to the fight here, but you can see Hylim is all the way across the board, as I believe one of the wards should have spotted him out. And look at this sequence, should be just resetting the wave. They don't really want to dive right under turret, especially when their Leona's right there, but they do want to bounce it back so that BDG can be more overextended later on into this game. But still, they really do want to go for this fight, and they balanced it out. They were able to, what's the word here, Jace? Be able to control the aggression of the turret.
Yeah, basically swapping turret aggro, right? And
there you go, yeah, turret aggro.
Yeah, but the fact is that Leona will lose her life at the bottom side, even though BDG already spotted out the Wukong is in the area. I'm not too sure why they decided to move the step out of there, but you know, this shows, you know, vision game is very important in Wild Rift, isn't it? Like, vital information is being handed out over to the side, but it's also down to the players themselves to basically use that knowledge. So unfortunately, BDG will lose that Leona at the bottom side. Sarah will be, oh, max stacks going in for Darius. And you know when Darius get mad stacks, right? He's gonna go mad stacks as Team Sequence preparing that top side gank. Sarah a little bit overextended once again. JW will be chasing in. Jim, now Sarah on will be forced to use that flash. Hylim coming in. The Hextech ultimatum will be able to lock down Sarah, but Sarah is still alive. JW look will fall as well for the Noxian Guillotine. At the same time, Jim falls the flash as Hylim, the big bat dragon, chasing her down once again. Oh! That is the wrong person to chop as he chops down the clone instead, giving blue team that double kill. Gravel coming in. I feel like this fight has gone a little bit too sketchy for both sides.
Jim played that so perfectly, and Gavel doesn't have any mana anymore. He should just back away and live to fight for another day, get those items up already. That could have gone so much worse for Sequence. Jim just picks it back out, but BDG great on the punish when the 3 versus 1 happened, and Sarah, this is where you see BDG put their eggs on the basket of Sarah, and he is not gonna, you know, he's not gonna fail them. He's gonna turn these eggs into a nice little omelet, and it's still pretty neck and neck here. BDG are starting to wild things up, and here's the thing. Sarah is almost on his Infinity Edge. Or sorry, not Infinity Edge, Trinity Force rather. And that's such a good thing.
Yep, so Darius going to go for the Triforce this time around. Same could be said for the Camille, but it is the Phage that's going to provide so much mobility for that Darius to stick on top of the targets. But there's a bit of a debate between, you know, going for either the Black Cleaver or the Triforce, you see. So with the help of the Black Cleaver, he's going to shred armor very well. But Triforce has that attack speed. That means that he's gonna stack up stacks even faster. But that same could be said as well. But hold on a second. Glacier Fisher will be able to land as the package will be delivered over to the side of BDG. Gatling Gun will be able to melt down Kai'Sa. At the same time, Sequence is still fighting on the BDG on the other side. Hextech Ultimatum will be able to landing on top of Sarah. But unfortunately, Sarah is just out of control right there. It takes 3 members to just kill off that Darius. At the same time, fake 80. Wow, finding that pickoff at the back's end of BDG allows Sequence to secure this Drake without a problem.
The difficulty of Sarah there to whittle the HPs of his opponent and start resetting his Noxian Guillotine just does not help out the case for BDG. If he was, that would have been a different outcome, but Sequence played it perfectly. They know that if Sarah just is bypassed by fake AD and Syra just keeps him peeled off, it would work out because fake AD has all that he needs to 1v1 Iron Groot, especially when he's building up into that Trinity Force. His damage is just going to be overwhelming, and Sequence played that team fight up to a beautiful T, leaving Gavel and the rest of BDG to fend off by themselves. That's not really what you want to happen. And Sequence starts that big fight right off, especially getting that Infernal Drake. it becomes even more threatening possession here, but an apprehend once again. How do you back away from this one, as this is the one in all in? The HPs for the Braum is already down, but that's not their target. It's gonna be the dash right in from Fake AD, and he survives. A little Jim, he's gotta keep Fake AD alive. The stun to connect though, there's gonna be the sun to connect as well, and BDG go for the punish sequence. They're dipping their hands too deep in the pot.
Yeah, and in that pot is Mousetrap set by BDG, and they're just gonna yell a bit of a yow, a little bit, you know, picking up their hands from that pot, and you see rather than cookies, it is Mousetraps on all of your fingers, and that's what Sequence did. They had that Drake, they're a little bit cocky, my bad, in terms of that pun, but you gotta admit, that Leona ultimate was the one that changed it right around for BDG. Okay, you gotta admit that Team Sequence, the way they actually get rid of that plant bomb, will be able to, you know, prevent BDG from actually stealing that Rift Herald. And there's no vision from the side of BDG as well on that Rift Herald. So Sequence will be able to take that Rift Herald without a problem at all.
They got everything in their pockets, but these overexertions of Sequence is putting BDG in a spot where they can still fight. I do like how we're throwing the Fog of War here to see how BDG doesn't have any vision whatsoever. And Sarah gets devoured, staying inside the brush where Sequence, we're keeping an eye on him. Rift Herald is already popped out. They just want to get as much damage as possible. And where did this dragon come from? The dragon's descent has been used, but the dragon will descend even further, 6 feet under the ground, as that Rift Herald creates space for BDG. Sorry, for Sequence, as they go in to this top tier 2 turret. They're not done just yet, and they're even looking for more. A bit of a deep dive from Leroy as he gets connected once again by the stun. Maybe a bad spot for JW as he tries to retreat to his teammate. He can get away. Nice little stun as well. Jim will be able to use the Cyclone, but in a bad spot. He doesn't have the HP. He doesn't have the tankiness to survive for long. And Sequence make mistakes, but they still got the result into breaking those turrets.
Yeah, the best part is you can see how greedy Leroy became at that end at that end of team fight. They actually got that turret down. They can just disengage, but Team Sequence, they're looking for more. Unfortunately, will lose a couple of lives right there, but BDG will be able to kind of equalize that goal lead even because of that team fight early on, but they lost too many turrets for that fight, so not a very good idea. So now BDG, the next point of contest will be around that Ocean Drake. Ocean Drake still not too bad for the side of BDG because you've got the I Am Groot as well. You also got Sierra, but look at, thank you very much for the observer to actually highlight the fact that there's not many wards coming in. Apprehend landing on top of Fake AD, but it is Leroy WR jumping out from the brush once again. The Redemption coming in, trying to heal for the side of BDG, side of Team Sequence at the same time. It is Hexa Ultimatum that actually locks down Sierra, but once again the charm misses from the side of Seraphine. Gatling gun will be used as BDG stays right out of arm's reach from Team Sequence, but here comes Jim for the flank. Cyclone will be used potentially. He has a GA. He can take more punishment from that, but BDG decides to push Sequence off as Sequence rotates over to that Drake.
Oh, Hylim already just recalled back into the base. So that's a BDG. They seemed like they wanted to fight for that dragon, but in the end, it's just going to be Sequence to provide a little bit of chip, provide a little bit of control around the map, and with just a small show of force, they were able to get this turret, able to get that dragon, and they're going to be able to get Gavel here, who misses the shockwave, doesn't even hit on Cyrez, and was looking to maybe catch on onto Leroy. In the end, Sarah, he has a flash, he's looking for it, he wants to go in, but it's way too obvious. Leroy was keeping an eye on this Darius, and that explosive fruit should provide a little bit more of leeway, a little bit more space, but calm before the storm. Sequence get a lot, and BDG, they're picking up scraps.
Yeah, BDG 5k gold lead behind. Triforce for two Triforces being secured by both teams already. Baron has spawned, but BDG's positioning is just not the best. It's Fizzy Fish's efforts that actually make BDG actually relevant in this game, in my opinion, because you can see how many times that Fizzy Fish actually lands the ultimate on top of crucial targets, like, for example, the Corki as well. So BDG's aims is true, but Team Sequence, they're not giving up on the vision game as well. BDG is just finding some wards here and there, finally picking up on the ward game this time round. But it is going to be a Cloud Drake next for Team Sequence. BDG, top side is super clear. Bottom side still left untouched. Mid lane, first tier turret gone for the side of BDG. Whereas for Team Sequence, they only lost one turret, which is at the Dragon lane.
They're already knocking at the base here. They're setting a lot of vision up for the Baron because that's the next big objective the Sequence really want to get. They're not going to be foolish enough to try to claim it, to take it, as the full roster of BDG is still alive. It makes a lot of sense because BDG can always go for the punish. They have a composition that even if they're playing behind, they can always deal AoE combo burst. In any case, nice little apprehend there from Sarah, but his opponent's just way too tanky. Even underneath the turret, he's still able to survive through it all. And Jim, proactive as can be, deals so much damage into the mid lane. And he's being chased down by Fizzyfish and teammate. But think about that. If they go overextend, they can always get hit by the Cyclone, and Sequence will be able to take down more turrets than one. Look at the big combination here. They still should fear the fact that Sequence can just dive right in if they overcommit. And Jim backs away. He's going to get that Scuttler first, and Sequence look to maybe challenge the Baron now, as items should be starting to just fluster on in some more.
Yeah, Blade of the Ruined King being built by both sides. It is a cameo that also pick up Blade of the Ruined King probably to fight against it. There is a fight against the Shyvana because these two champions can get quite tanky. The Kai'Sa actually building that Blade of the Ruined King. In fact, I would say it's for that Wukong and perhaps even for that Braum as well. But you gotta admit, I am Groot being at the mid lane to kind of defend off the wrath of Jim. Actually lost BDG at the team fight at the bottom side, so that's something about, you know, team communication. But at the same time, see how JW is constantly actually putting up. Once again, there's no vision from the side of BDG at that Baron ward, so they're gonna have to fight this in blind. The fake AD is the one that actually kind of zones out every single one. BDG with the Valkyrie. At the same time, the Dragon chases after it, but the Glacial Fisher will be able to land on top two members. The Charm going in for the side of BDG as Jim, the Cyclone, the damage going in. Same time, Cyrus, okay, High Limb will be able to flash away to safety, but Zera not paying attention to the map once again. A hook shot will be used to chase after that. Leroy WR, he's looking for blood. He will be able to take down Darius without a problem.
Fake AD, he 1v5'd, 1v5, sorry, while Sequence, the rest of Sequence was taking the Baron, and he gravitated so much presence, so much pressure on himself, that his teammates just got a quick Baron, and they were able to follow up because BDG was so focused on trying to get that fake AD. Now BDG, they're going to try to defend as much as they can, but the Nexus is exposed, and the Nexus be taken down, and Sequence will have their rematch tomorrow up against